So this morning, we saw New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom 19. As always, New Japan Pro Wrestling never, and I mean never, disappoint us New Japan Pro Wrestling fans, as we are going to go and review the New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 19. I'm going to give you my reactions on the Epic Ladder Tokyo Dome Terror match, four-way tag team. We're going to talk about Shota Umino and Zack Sabre Jr. in the main event. And we're going to talk about all that right here on the Chokeslam Wrestling Report, episode 226. Let's get this.
Is the moment we've all been waiting for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome to another episode of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. I am your host, the infamous Ultimate One from New York City. And today we are going to give you our reaction to Wrestle Kingdom 19, where I always said this Wrestle Kingdom every year does never, and I mean talking about ever, disappoint us, especially New Japan Pro Wrestling fans. They always give us what we like. They advertise these matches. You know what to expect. And of course, we got Wrestle Dynasty coming up, and I'm going to do a reaction and review on that next week, along with New Year's Dash. But right now, what we saw today, as far as where is New Japan heading and whatnot. Now, Wrestle Kingdom started off with the New Japan Pro Wrestling, what they call the Ramble instead of the Rumble. Usually every year, they usually have the New Japan Pro Wrestling King of Pro Wrestling title. Before it was a trophy. And I remember that, how you call it, Yano used to walk around with that for many years. For like 2 or 3 years, he had that. Then they turned it into a title where that belt was used to do gimmick matches. And we had Tai Chi held that belt. We had Great-O-Khan held the belt a couple of times. I believe Shingo Takagi held it too also, but apparently Great-O-Khan was the last champion in that. And I think I saw in the New Japan versus Stardom, we saw Mr. Great-O-Khan go in the ring and wrestle a female for the King of Pro Wrestling title. Now that belt was retired. And the crazy thing, I didn't even know that they retired it, but supposedly Great-O-Khan came with this idea that instead of the winner of the Ramble gets a shot at the belt again and whatnot, why just forget about that belt, retire it, and whoever wins the Ramble becomes the #1 contender to the IWGP belt. Well, we had this Ramble. I think it was 21 wrestlers, and it was kind of a little disappointing, to be honest. They usually do this before the main show. That's like the pre-show. They had too many, and I say too many, too many old school guys in that Rumble. It's like I think every minute and a half somebody will come in. The big surprise was Josh Barnett making his entrance. I mean, I haven't seen Josh Barnett wrestle since he fought Claudio in AEW. I think it was Forbidden Door last year. And we saw Josh Barnett doing his thing, whatever. I mean, we saw Tenzan, which I'm like, why is he there? We saw all these old school cats, Nagata. And every time, that's the only bad part. When I see these old wrestlers from New Japan past, back from the days from the 90s and 2000s, I'm like, why are you still in the ring? You know what I'm saying? But we saw Tenzan. I mean, you could tell he's not the same wrestler he was. But a very interesting thing that came out of that was Sonata and Taichi. Now, Sonata, as you guys know, I don't think I mentioned to you guys, Sonata became Bullet Club member when he turned, I forgot who he turned on. I think it was Taichi in a match against David Finlay for the global title. He turned on him. So now Sonata has the blonde hair again, no longer has the black, so he's no longer just Five Guys. So he's part of Bullet Club and whatnot. So I saw that, and it looks like that's going to be a match for 2025. That's going to be very interesting between these two. These two has had matches in the past where were epic. They go 25, 30 minutes. And I know a lot of these wrestling fans today, real pro wrestling fans, love this type of matches where it's 25, 30 minutes of hard hitting, strong style wrestling. You know what I'm saying? You don't have no damn, promos in the middle of a match. If you're not into that, then if you're into that, New Japan Pro Wrestling is not for you. Put it that way. So we saw all this. At the end of the day, the last, I believe the last guy who stood there was Great Khan, of course, who was the last King of Pro Wrestling champion against Hiroki Goto. Now, at the end, Hiroki Goto ended up winning this Rumble. So now he's the number one contender to Zack Sabre's IWGP World Champion. So I don't know why they picked Hiroki Goto, because Hiroki Goto, I mean, that guy's been around. That's another guy he's up there. So he's finally getting a shot for the world title. And I hope that he doesn't beat Zack Sabre Jr. He's not the one to beat him. I think the one who should beat him is David Finlay. I think David Finlay should win the IWGP belt. He's dude. I'm telling you right now, he's dude. Not because he's Bullet Club, he's just due to win the world title and whatnot. So Wrestle Kingdom started with the Tokyo ladder match. They call it the Tokyo Terradome ladder match. And this match, you had Kevin Knight, Kushida, the IWGP Junior Tag Team Champions, was going to put their belts on the line against Sweet Boys, Robbie Eagle, and Fujita, and the War Dogs, Clark O'Connor and Julian Maloney, and of course, United Empire, TJP, and Francisco Akira. So this match was pretty good. These guys the ladder match and the crazy bump these guys took was crazy. I mean, at one point, I believe Kevin Knight went to the tallest ladder and did a body press on Julian Maloney, and he missed him. Kind of pretty much missed him. He didn't hit him right. I'm like, these guys are crazy. And the ladder had to be at least 20, 25 feet tall. But Kevin Knight right now is supposedly one of the youngest wrestlers out here. I think his contract is up with New Japan Pro Wrestling, so I would not be surprised if he ends up in NXT or somewhere, or AEW, one of those places. But I do not want to see him in TNA, and I definitely don't want to see him in MLW, because you're not going to get the exposure that you're getting now in New Japan. So at the end of this match, we saw new tag team champions crown. We saw Fujita and Robbie Eagle from TDMK win the IWGP Junior Tag Team Championship. So they're the new tag champs. So then we went on to the IWGP Women's World Title, and it was Mayu Awitani, who is the longest IWGP Women's World Champion. She's the one who beat Mercedes Moné for that belt when Mercedes had the belt a couple of years ago. She still has the title, and she went in there to go at it with AZM. It was a decent match, nothing crazy. I mean, AZM hit when I say a wicked Canadian destroyer that, I mean, I was like, wow, that shit was sick. And being that Awitani is so slim, I mean, the way she took that bump, it was ridiculous. I mean, people who, like I said, if you guys don't watch New Japan, you need to watch New Japan. You need to watch these Stardom ladies. These Stardom ladies are no joke. And Awitani is one chick who holds she's had the belt for 2 years. And will not be surprised if she's the one who goes and gets challenged by Mercedes Moné for that belt. But in order for that to happen, again, we will have to see Mercedes beat Shirakawa. And I see Shirakawa beating Mercedes Moné for that New Japan Strong belt coming up in Wrestle Dynasty. So, but that was very interesting. This match was pretty good. Not, you know, I love watching Stardom. I don't see it as much as I want to, but whenever there's a big match, I definitely want to check it out. But the ATM, that Wicked Canadian Destroyer, she hit, even though she still lost the match, Awatani retains the belt. I mean, it was epic. This match was real good between two women who went at it from the beginning of that belt. That belt, as soon as that bell rang, these women went at it. And ACM had Awatani on her toes, but Awatani came back and ended up winning that match. Then we had the 4-way TV World Title match. And this match, I had Ren Narita retaining the belt because it was a 4-way. It was Jeff Cobb, El Fantasmo, who was in that one? Ryohei Iowa and Ren Narita, the champion. This went back and forth. At one point, I mean, you saw Jeff Cobb doing his, of course, hit. Man, my man Jeff Cobb, as big as he is, my man hit a two-pick hilo, which is jumping over the top rope and landing on his 3 opponent, which was crazy. I was like, this guy is like a stocky dude. He is no joke. And he ended up doing a two-pick hilo, and something you don't see from a big guy like him. So this match was a great match. And, you know, El Fantasmo ends up winning the New Japan TV World title. Yes, I said that, the New Japan TV World title, which people claim, oh, that's a bullshit-ass title, whatever. Any title in New Japan is not bullshit. These titles are defended with honor, and El Fantasmo wins a singles title in New Japan after all these years. You know, he has won tag team gold. And I believe he had won that. Yeah, he won the IWGP tag team with Hikuleo at one point. Even the strong titles at one point, they had both of those belts. He has won the IWGP Jr tag team title, so he has won belts. But this was his first single actually title that he has won, and is a redemption, because according to the commentary that I was listening to, I think he beat cancer. I don't know how bad was the cancer. I don't know if they found it, but it's redemption for the man. So you got to give this man props for overcoming that and whatnot. So, you know, kudos to El Fantasmo. And I met Fantasmo, I think it was 2022, House of Glory. Cool dude, you know what I'm saying? And not somebody that, you know, thinks he's all that, but he's a very cool dude. Then we have Evil versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. Now, this match was set up because Tanahashi had mentioned that he was planning to retire for 2026, which is next year. But Evil and his House of Torture had other plans, and they kept attacking Tanahashi. At one point, they even cut his hair at one point, and Tanahashi came back and, you know, pretty much, I think he attacked Evil with a chair at one point. So he set up a match where I thought it was a head match, but I guess it wasn't. It was a lumberjack hardcore match, I guess. That's the way they call it. Where, of course, Evil came with his group, House of Torture, Lumberjacks, and then Tanahashi came with Master Wato, Tiger Mask, Yano. I saw there. So they came, and Bullet Oleg. So that was his group, and it was a back and forth match. A lot of interference from, of course, House of Torture. One point it looked like Tanahashi was going to win, but here comes one of the members from House of Torture, pulls out the referee, and at the end, Evil went and hit his everything is evil, but somewhere, somehow, Tanahashi ended up turning him around and pinning Evil, and Tanahashi wins, so he doesn't get to retire because I guess it was a retirement match also. So he gets to wrestle, but after the match, he got attacked by, of course, again, House of Torture. They weren't having it. And I don't know where Shibata came out. So now Shibata comes out, and I'm like, okay, what Shibata is? He's back in New Japan. And it turns out that he wants to wrestle Tanahashi at Wrestle Dream. And again, we'll have that result next week when we do AEW Dynasty. I mean, not AEW, sorry, Wrestle Dynasty. So we're going to see that. So that was a cool moment there. Then we had the title versus title. the AEW International Champion Konosuke Takeshita against New Japan's never openweight champion Shingo Takagi. Now, this match lived up to the hype. Let me tell you that. It was a hard-hitting match. Was everything that I expected. Takeshita, of course, I'm going to say this man should be where he's at right now in AEW. He should be higher, but where he's at right now as the AEW International Champion. That's where he belongs. And the AEW International Championship, I remember when they first came up with that. And in the lineage of this championship, because it used to be the All Atlantic title. That was the name of it before. Then they changed it to the AEW International title. And the guys who has held it, I mean, you had Ray Phoenix, John Moxley, Orange Cassidy held it twice. I think who else had it? Will Ospreay had it twice. Takeshita, by AEW giving the belt to Takeshita makes a lot of fucking sense. Because before, I remember when Cassidy lost the belt to Moxley, I had people saying, oh, that belt is worthless. I was like, well, it's not worthless if Moxley wins the belt and takes that belt to New Japan. Sure enough, that didn't happen. But look who's taking that belt to New Japan and defending the belt in New Japan territory. And it was Takeshita. Takeshita had a great match with Takagi today. And these guys went at it. And Takeshita, when he hits you with that form and whatnot, his shots are just solid. I mean, I love Takeshita. And he did so well the G1 Climax last year. I mean, I'm sure he's going to come back. He made it to the semifinals and whatnot. This guy's world champion material. And not only that, he beats Takagi for the never open weight title. And now he's going to supposedly wrestling the Pitbulls, Tomohiro Ishii, I think, for the never open weight belt. But come on. You think he don't deserve it? This guy's double champion now in Japan. This guy's the future in Japan. I would love to see him, and I think I saw him at, Suji. I think I saw them wrestling in G1 Climax. But man, come on, Takeshita is the future, and then with Don Callis there, this guy is amazing, and I hope he continues doing what he does best, and that's keep winning championships. And again, this was a very good match. Then we had the junior title, IWGP Junior World Champion. This match had to be stopped for the simple fact that in the middle of the match, Dookie went for a drop kick while Desperado was outside. I believe the whole situation was supposed to be a drop kick from the top where Desperado will land by the railing, and Dookie, lands on his back or whatever the case may be. Well, apparently when he landed, he broke his arm. So the match was stopped. This match lasted probably 5 minutes the most. So he's out with an injury, broken arm, supposedly, according to Fightful Select. So they had to stop this match. I never seen that ever in any New Japan match. Ever. I saw Desperado lose his belt last year on a counter. I haven't seen that in years. But here we go. Desperado in a match again, but this time his opponent, the champion at that, break his arm in the middle of the match. So it was unfortunate. I wanted to see this match between him and Dookie, and it's not going to happen. God knows when Dookie will be back for that. Then we had the IWGP Global title match between Yota Tsuji versus David Finlay. This match, another hard-hitting match. And let me tell you, David Finlay, as much as people think that he's not that good, because I have people tell me, oh, I don't like David Finlay. Listen, the way he was when he was doing, when it was Finn Juice, him and Juice Robinson, compared to what Finlay is today, this guy is just, he has turned it around like a 360. This guy is dangerous in the ring. He is no joke. And the way I see it, this guy is going to go places. So this match was pretty good, hard-hitting, whatever. But I had a feeling Yoda was going to win this match because I think these guys had wrestled before, and I think Finlay has beat him. But this time, Yoda ends up beating David Finlay for the global world title. Now, that global world title, it's kind of a mixing because Okay, if it's global, I mean, it's a world, right? Right, it's global. And then you have the IWGP World Title. Now, the global is supposed to be the international, the Intercontinental belt, the white one that was back in the days. But now they're calling it global. Now, this global title, Sushi has it and whatnot. And out of all the Musketeers, supposedly the new Musketeer, the ones that are supposed to come up again, the only one who hasn't won a belt has been Shota Umino. You know what I'm saying? All the other guys, Narita has won the belt. Uemura has won a belt. Sushi has won a belt. So all these guys has won a belt against except Shota Umino. So, but Sushi is the new global champion. So, we'll see what's going to happen with that. Who's going to be his next opponent? We'll see. Then we saw Naito versus Hiromu Takahashi. This was a student versus mentor match. And of course, it was a decent match. It was kind of average. It wasn't all the matches through the whole night except that one kind of like slowed down everybody because throughout the whole show, these matches were nuts. So I guess they did that one where kind of slowed down the pace of people's energy, whatever. So it wasn't as great as everybody expected, but it was decent. But we saw Naito beat Tanahashi Hiromu in a match where it was 15 years in the making, and they wanted to wrestle each other since 2020, but COVID hit. So that didn't happen. They did team up at one point and whatnot. So now they're going to be a team to wrestle I believe the Young Bucks and Great O'Khan and Jeff Cobb for the vacant IWGP Tag Team Championships. So, and those belts are vacant because Hanari got hurt, and Hanari is out again with an injury. So now those belts are going to be up for Wrestle Dynasty. So again, I will do a review on that and whatnot. So that was that. And then the main event, of course, it was Shota Umino versus the champion Zack Sabre Jr. This match, I was waiting for it for a long time because Shota Umino has been going around talking about he's the new ace. And right now, it looks like the fans has been turning on him. He's been doing promises. He's going to do this. He's going to be the new ace and this and this and that. And he attacked Zack Sabre Jr. when Zack Sabre Jr. won the IWGP Tag Team, IWGP title, world title, I mean. And I think they had a tag team match at Strong Style Evolve in December. And I've been waiting for this. And look, Shota Umino has been the only one the last couple of times who has pinned Zack Sabre Jr. And a couple of one was a G1 climax, and then it was a tag team match. So pretty much Shota Umino had Zack Sabre Jr.'s number. And it turned out at the end, I mean, in the jaws of defeat, Zack Sabre Jr. figured something out and went and beat Shota Umino for this match. But Shota Umino right now, his hands are tied because Moxley sending Claudio after him at Wrestle Dynasty. So, overall, this whole Wrestle Kingdom thing was pretty good. I love it. Now I'm looking forward to what's going to happen with Wrestle Dynasty and New Year's Dash. So those two events, I will be doing a review on it next week and break it down where I feel where New Japan is going. As far as New Japan is going, I could give you some little thing. I mean, the road to 2025 for New Japan, and is pretty much we saw David Finlay lose the belt to Yota Tsuji, which means that David Finlay will now be in the world title picture and whatnot. So that's going to be interesting because I see David Finlay winning the title from Zack Sabre Jr. I can't see nobody else beating him. I don't see Goto beating him. I do not see Great O'Khan beating him. I don't see any of those guys doing any of that. A match between David Finlay and Zack Sabre Jr. should already start. The junior division has been hot as hell. Don't think that Drilla Maloney and Clark O'Connor's, the War Dogs, and whatnot are done and over with those tag team belts. Now you have Vegeta and Robbie Eagle holding those belts, but they already have a challenger for February 11 already for, I believe, is New Beginnings. They have a match between Rock, who defend the titles against Rocky Romero and Yo at New Japan Pro Wrestling New Beginnings in Osaka on February 11th and whatnot. So already, you already see already the match is done already that fast, and we still haven't passed, Wrestle Dynasty and New Year's Dash. New Year's Dash pretty much sets up everything that's going to happen in New Japan and whatnot. So pretty much next week, I'll come in here and I will tell you how the landscape looks. I mean, we already saw Sonata, who turned on the Five Guys. Now he's going to have to feud against Taichi, which this is going to be like very good. Shota Umino, where is he going from here after he lost Zack Sabre Jr.? You know what I'm saying? His promise, he hasn't come through with his promises. So now the fans are turning. Is he going to turn? We can see a turn. And all this thing with Wrestle Dynasty and AEW, fact that, you got Takeshita going to New Japan, winning the open weight title and whatnot. And of course, you have Tomohiro Ishii going to AEW at one point. This is going to be a continuous stuff. While we're going to see feuds coming out of New Japan against with AEW guys. I mean, we're going to see Kenny Omega versus Gabe Kidd. I mean, this is good. This is good for wrestling. But what I've been hearing lately, especially when I see podcasters out there that make money out of trashing AEW and talk about how Tony Khan has this New Japan fetish and whatnot. I mean, just because you're a WWE fan and you like all that, storylines with drama and bullcrap like we saw on SmackDown, where Tiffany Stratton won the world championship by using a briefcase. I mean, because this Money in the Bank bullcrap is just annoying already. It's just, I mean, it's, what AEW is doing right now as far with New Japan is a good thing. You know what I'm saying? They're not only working with New Japan, they're working with CMML. They got Tony Khan owns Ring of Honor, which I feel that's going to turn everything around little by little. And a lot of the guys who you don't see AEW going to see in Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor by the beginning of this year, we'll have a channel. I see it happening. And then you're going to have more working relationships with New Japan, Ring of Honor, CMML, even MLW. I mean, MLW was represented in this event in the New Japan Ramble by Kojima, they world champion with the new title. I love this new title that MLW has now. It looks like a world title, not that square title that they have for years and whatnot. You have MLW in there. Now you could ask yourself, but what about TNA? What about NWA? No, because none of these people, you know what I'm saying? Especially the fact that Access Channel stopped, showing New Japan matches now because the contract supposedly ended. These are companies that I feel they don't know. They just have a bunch of clowns in a suit that don't know nothing about wrestling. You know what I'm saying? So, and the fact that we saw also in TNA Impact, where we saw Tessa Blanchard kicking out Jordan Grace, that shows you right there, Jordan Grace is done with TNA. She'll be in WWE and anytime soon. And so is Joe Henry, so is Josh Alexander. All these people are going to show up. You know what I'm saying? So, but Wrestle Kingdom tops it off. New Japan does the best freaking show. That's the WrestleMania to New Japan. Wrestle Kingdom is New Japan. I mean, it's WrestleMania for them. And they never disappoint. Anybody could tell me otherwise, but they can never disappoint me. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen a Wrestle Kingdom where I say it sucked. Even during the COVID, it still was good. So that is it for me today, guys. Again, you can follow me on these social media outlets on Facebook, Instagram, the X, and of course, follow my channel, the YouTube channel and whatnot, and represent. This is like I said, season 6 of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. And I hope that this year brings up more, more people, more fans. And we're trying to get to 500, where we need a more like 198 more views to get to the 500 mark. But share this, guys. Share this with, again, you're not going to get tribalism here. You guys been following me. Those who are following me, I cover everything. I cover AEW, I cover WWE, I cover, any news from TNA here, MLW, whatever the case may be, I cover. I'm not a, loyalist to one promotion. So you're going to get the best here, and I'm going to continue to give you the best as far as I keep doing this. So, again, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, follow me on the X. Definitely join my channel, the Chokeslam Wrestling Report on YouTube. Hit that notification bell for new uploads. Also, check out my podcast store. You got t-shirts, hats, and hoodies. Go to tcwr.veryinkpressive.com. That's tcwr.veryinkpressive.com. We're available on YouTube because, like I said, we're also on the TikTok. I don't know how long TikTok's going to be around, but you can follow the Chokeslam Wrestling Report at the Chokeslam Wrestling Report on TikTok, and you'll find my little clips, my little thing, my little promotion in there. So follow. I'm everywhere, guys. I'm everywhere and whatnot. Also, I just want to make this before I leave. Somebody decided to go and use audio clip from my podcast. If I catch you doing that on my channel, anytime I see that anybody's channel, I will report your ass. Simple as that. Not going to hesitate. I don't care if I know you. I don't care if we had talked before. I catch you using my audio without my permission on your channel, I'm going to make sure that they flag your ass. Simple as that. Don't go use my channel because you're affecting me. You're affecting my channel, and people, they're not going to rather watch my videos. They're going to go and listen to the audio, and then you putting the Chokeslam Wrestling Report under your name when you're not the owner. Okay? You're not the owner. You're not the... This is ridiculous. So, and this is why I kind of hesitate to work with other people, because people take it upon themselves to go and use my shit without talking to me first. So, anyway, so that is it for me today, guys. Just follow me on the YouTube channel. This is part of the Yoner's Podcast Network. And hopefully this year I get to work with more podcasters. Either go to their podcast, talk about my channel, or we could do a collaboration. I'm out here, guys. So until then, guys, be safe, and I will see you guys next week.